been on a culinary journey at Beef Australia today, and she joins us again with some more food delights.
Andrea Crothers, I bet you know what cereal you're going to buy as soon as you walk into the supermarket. We know brands of cereal like the back of our hand, but what about brands of beef? There's a brand new branded beef product that I've been seeing on the socials and I was dying to find out more about. It's called King River. It's got Wagyu involved and we're going to find out from one of the owners right now. Josh Rich, tell me about King River. Where are you from? What do you do?
Hi, my name is Josh. I'm from King River. We have a marketing company which is based in Brisbane, but our family properties are in North Queensland, which is around Townsville, Sarina, just north of Rocky, right here actually, yeah.
Fantastic. So you're an export Wagyu company, formed I think just after the pandemic, so you really just got into things after that. Where do you kill?
We mainly kill at John D and Casino Co-op.
And all export, or do you sell some of your product domestically?
I'd say about 80% is exported and 20% here in the domestic market.
Give me a bit of the skinny. Tell me about the family history in this, because it was initially just two families. Is that right? Yeah,
so the K and the R actually stands for Kemp and Rich. I know it stands for King River as well, but they're the founding families behind the brand. We essentially just wanted to market our own beef. We're sick of being a price taker and wanted to, create and get to know the market a bit better and what we could potentially earn from it.
Fantastic. Jump over. What have you got in there? It's going to get us a couple of products, Andrea. I'm sick of eating out. What about eating in? I might have to do some cooking this week. What have you got there?
We developed these recently. It's a like a Wagyu patty. So we export these all around the world, and they're now you can find them in the likes of Tiffany & Co.'s Blue Box Cafe in Taiwan and other places. High-end places around the world.
Fantastic. Obviously, with just the two families, the Kemp and the Rich family involved, you brought some other families on this journey with you. I know the Hatfields are involved with you as well in the Wagyu game. Are you looking for more people to be part of this brand?
Look, as we grow, we're always looking for great producers that are also very passionate about what they're doing, so absolutely.
Josh Rich, thank you so much. Thank you for letting us in on the story that is King River. There you go. Chuck some of those in the freezer. They might help you keep your protein up, certainly your iron levels up after Beef Week. Andrea Crothers. I'm going to take you to Meat Street next.
Oh, can't wait to see you have a dirty feed. Thanks, Arles. Well, he's a third-generation farmer from Tasmania and an entrepreneur. One day, fed up with being a price taker, Sam Trethewey wanted to reclaim control. So he bought an abattoir. He joins us live. Thanks for coming on Beef TV, Sam.
Pleasure. How are you?
Well, thank you. First question, though, how are you? Was it worth it?
It has been worth it, but it's been a really tough road. I suppose, you often hear farmers talk about, I want to be a price maker and I want to take down more control on the supply chain. But the reality of it is it's a different industry. It is a totally different industry, different skill sets, different career paths, different amounts of knowledge. Just because you can grow the stuff doesn't mean you can, process and pack it. So it's been.
Did you go in blissfully naive?
Absolutely, yeah, I know. Luckily, I've got a team around me that kind of helped me along the way. I did say I'm smart. I'll pick up on it pretty quick, but look after me on the journey. But look, it has been a journey. I'm glad we did it, but it's been a pretty bumpy road. And I suppose where we differentiate is we're not an abattoir as such as that we don't buy livestock and sell boxed meat product. We don't take that price risk. We're a service provider. We receive live animals and we provide a service, cut them up and box them and send them out, including our own. So it's a different model.
What was the moment when you decided, you know what, this is what I need to do?
We'd been using this particular abattoir for some time. The guy that was running it, it kind of didn't work out for him in the end, and it had been on the market for a while. And it was one of those things, how many times is a small-scale abattoir going to come on the market half an hour from our property? And so, yes, I said to Steph, I think we're going to have to jump. So we did a deal with the vendor and we actually did a lease to purchase, which was a great way for a young person to kind of get in. We've kind of leased it for 2 years, got some financials, got some stuff sorted. Now we're kind of talking with creditors to get a loan to take it on. That was why we did it. It was just one of those things. It was just one of those, I've got to jump now and have a crack. Otherwise, the opportunity will be missed.
What was the clear goal here?
The clear goal was to have control of the supply chain. So, as I said, we'd been using the abattoir, but the way in which the product was being presented and shipped was totally kind of unacceptable for those markets. So there's nothing wrong with the kill, but the packaging and the labelling was no good. So the first thing we did is we invested in packaging and labelling equipment. Now I can deliver a product into a market like Melbourne, and it kind of stacks up with bigger places, which was awesome. So that was actually why we did it. But in that, I've now found other opportunities. It's created an additional revenue stream for us, and it's great to own a community abattoir too.
Biggest pros?
The biggest pros is that I'm the boss, so I can just ring up and say I've got an extra 2 coming in, or can we move things around? I've got a restaurant that, the restaurant's been selling a lot of our product with AgFest, which is a big rural field days in Tassie, and I needed a body in there, quick, smart, so I can just move. I've got control. That's the pro.
Cons.
Be
honest.
Yeah, look, I suppose, we've had some issues with vegan activists breaking in and doing all that stuff, which is probably one of the most horrendous experiences of my career, to be completely candid with you. It's been really, really tough. And I suppose, fortunately for us, staffing has been really good. And I suppose the cons, to be completely candid, is the red and the green tape. You would not believe what we have to do as a small producer, a small processor, with the red and green tape to meet it more so at a state level, which, from my understanding, Tassie's probably one of the more relaxed states. It's almost counter-commercial, like it's almost difficult for us to operate, which is, I think, really unfair and a shame given what we offer to the local community. You
mentioned it being one of the most horrific experiences of your life.
Yeah.
For someone that hasn't been through that, what is that like?
It's pretty confronting. Your address gets put up online. I suppose they're there to kind of torment and bully and shut you down kind of mentally. That's what it's about. And so that was, as you can imagine, it was like being taken back to the worst bullying at school, but in your adult life, it's not something you really prepare for. So I'm kind of glad that's behind us. And the pros of that out is that we're stronger because of it now. The policies, the procedures, the training that we've got in place now means that we're so much more, prepared or just a resilient, better operation now because of that. So that's been the only kind of pro of that, but it was pretty tough.
So you've changed some things since then. Did the investigation end up being finalised, or?
It's still undergoing. It's taking quite some time to kind of do its thing, but we're all good. We're operating. We're booked out till July. Things are going really, really well. So the community's really, really happy with what we're doing, and as I said, we're fully booked and things are going really well.
Moving on, globally, there's a huge focus on sustainable beef, obviously, and it's big chat around the grounds here at the moment. Do you think consumers are willing to pay for carbon neutral beef?
Not in my experience yet. We've provided consumers with, we're not carbon neutral yet. That's been something we've been actively chasing. We've been quite loud about that, but we have found that there is a limit to what people will pay for. I'm not quite sure consumers are willing to pay for that yet. Interestingly, one of our big customers, they do a lot of organics in Melbourne. They did a survey of why people shop there, and an overwhelming response that people shop there in these butcher shops is not actually because they're organic. They believe when they buy organic, it's buying from a more ecologically sound systems on farming, grass-fed and things like that. So it's not so much that they're focused on the organic piece, it's more that stands for, in their mind, it stands for ethical, natural kind of rearing and grazing. So I suppose that's where we're kind of focused. So people will pay for it, but I'm not quite sure as a standalone value proposition, just the sustainability piece. It's got to meet a whole bunch of other things, including, the product's got to stand on its own feet in taste, texture and things like that.
When do you think they will?
When? That's a
crystal ball.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It was interesting, even just 2 days ago or yesterday, looking at the breakfast that Woolworths had presented. This guy that had come out from Wales, and the data that they were doing is that people are, they're still choosing price and will do for, I think, quite some time over environment. That was really fascinating.
Cost of living.
It's cost of living, especially at the moment. So I think it'll be quite some time. But I think it'll be quite some, it's not all that far before the industry picks up a lot of those things and it becomes the norm. So, there's the other side of it, is why should a consumer pay for something that is climate positive? And at the moment, it's exciting, it's new, it's fresh. But why should they be paying for something that is better for the environment? It should be kind of the standard article, right? So I think over time, the early adopters are doing their thing, the majority will come in and it'll become more common. So.
Hey, finally, Sam Trithui, you bought an abattoir. Would you do it again?
I reckon I would, yeah. Yep.
Good on you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Andrea.
Well, we are off to a break, but stay with us because afterwards we're going to catch up with one of the Beef Connections mentees